What's up, you guys? FSC Truck Shop. We're going to continue working on this 12V71 Detroit. The last video that I just got done filming literally minutes ago, we managed to get this rear bell housing and gear case off. That's right, this is the rear of the engine. This is the output where your flywheel would go to your transmission. That's the front. Very similar to a Ferrari, such as your Ferrari V8s, like in your Ferrari Californias and so forth. The timing chain on those are in the back. Well, the gear case for these Detroit diesels, they're in the back too. And this is the timing gears right here. Obviously your crank, your intermediate or idle, cam, I'm gonna guess 1, cam 2, I don't know which ones are which. Either way, you can reverse rotation this engine. I believe one of the things you have to do if you were to do it for maybe marine application is take this gear off and put it here. This is a standard rotation engine. I bought it that way with the idea of going in a truck. So now that this is gone, we can get the right bell housing to put on here. But we're still gonna take this all apart anyway. In this video, we're gonna go ahead and take these gears off, and if that doesn't play us and become too big of a hassle, we're also gonna take the camshafts out, either from the back or the front, but we gotta get these cams out. So that's what we're gonna do in this video. Let's go ahead and get started. Admittingly, I know it's been a while since we've worked on this engine, but I'm trying to get a lot more done in the next handful of days. So in respect to the other videos we've done, we've had to use a puller to get these gears, a little bit smaller on the front though, off of the cam. In fact, one of them I had to heat it to get it off. These are oil covered. I don't anticipate it being a problem. However, I don't know if I want to take the gears off because I can use my press to push them off the cam. Obviously, it's much lighter than this big, huge crankshaft, but also it's something to grab onto while you're sliding the cam out. I'm not sure what I'm going to do there, so we'll just have to figure that out as we go. With that, let me go ahead and consult the book and figure out where to start from here. This here is for a cable for a tachometer to attach. That was available to be seen in the other video. There was an attachment for that. Now, I don't know how that gets taken out or put into the camshaft, but we could leave it in for now. So according to the book, to get them out, we've already done most of the work on the other side to be able to get these gears off. However, we do have to remove these bearing components here. I don't think I have to take that off. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. Let's try without. So there is a bearing housing similar to this. This came off the front on this side. That's behind these gears. These should be basically identical. So if I take the bolts off through these holes, I should be able to get that cam out. Also, I have all these, for lack of a better term, these set screws taken out. I left one in just in case I needed to. It'll be easy to take that out again. So we're gonna spin it and zip these 9/16 bolts out, and that should come out without too much fighting. Now this side, I'm gonna have to take that off with an impact because this plate has to come off to access the holes in the back. I think that's for the timing of it. That, of course, if the socket reaches. I hate doing that. One and a half, do I own it? Well, 1 1/2, and I do own it. So what the book actually shows, you shove a rag in there to get that to come loose. I've been taking them off with an impact gun. Oh yeah, definitely right. I don't know if I'm gonna have to put my tool on it or not. I probably will. I have a tool for that. Don't laugh. Don't laugh, it's homemade and I made it a long time ago. But it's very effective. I just gotta be careful not to flip the whole damned engine over. There it goes. Excellent. Nice. Man, these are chewed up. They look like I'm gonna have to get new ones. Ah, ate my other egg. All right, good. Sweet. 9/16, it should zip right out. Okay. Stop too soon. Stop too soon. There you go, access hole right there. We'll take this side off first, of which there are 3. You need a regular, you can't use an impact socket. Impact sockets are thick. Washer came with it, by the way. It would have came out the other side if I had lost it, but try not to lose them. The lock washer I'm talking about. Up here is a set screw. It's just a flathead. Looks like this. All they do is they thread down in there and retain the bearing, apparently. It's like a little, like a set screw. I put this in earlier. I didn't know if I had to use the puller, so I threaded one in. And just thread out like so. They were tight coming out. You look at the last video, you'll see the madness I had to do to get it out, but it wasn't too bad. Now, I don't know because I'm no expert, but the cam should come out without too much trouble. The other ones I had to use these little pry out tabs to get these off. One I had to use a puller to yoke it off because the collar was stuck on. But we're trying to take the cam out with it. So it should come out, I'm hoping, pretty easy. Just give a little gentle pry. Oh, effortlessly. Effortless. Excellent. Absolutely excellent. I don't know if those bearings come out with the cam or not. I don't think those bearings go with. No, those bearings, you have to split them and remove them in the. They don't go through the hole. I don't know if those. Of course they have to go through the hole. How in the world did you get the cam? Did it have to be lined up? That's a possibility. I'm gonna line them up, see what I get. can't see why I gotta take the bearings out to get the cam out. It just doesn't make sense. Maybe it does, I don't know. What do I know? Pause the video until I know something. I figured what the problem was. I'll show you better once I get the cam out. These clips hold these bearings together. They're like, they go on in halves, and these clips hold them on. This clip back here was hanging it up. So each time you get a cam through the journal, you have to walk the bearings through. As soon as he goes through, they fall in, and you got to walk them in, wiggling them through. Trying to be reasonably delicate because you don't want to ruin the lobes. Although I don't know if this cam is serviceable, but we're going to find out. And there's a camshaft. You know what? Perfect. This is the bearing that was binding me up. This groove here has a clip, and that clip holds the two halves together. And for whatever reason, that clip was giving it some bind. So what I'm going to do, when the camshaft settles down, just show you this clip. Pull it up a little, and it comes out easy. And then the two halves separate, and that's your cam bearing held by these clips. If these clips dislodge a little, the bearing does not fit through the journal holes in the block. That's how the cam bearings work on this. Now that that timing plate, for lack of a better term, is removed, I'm going to thread this back on just so we don't lose it. That's good enough. I don't have to really worry about it going anywhere. Same as the last one, I just have to simply take these bearing bracket retainer bolts out, of which there are the same 3 as on the other side and on the front of the engine. I take that bearing bracket off, or bearing housing off. We will have to take or press this gear off the cam. That really shouldn't be an issue with the press. And these cams are manageable. They're not ridiculously heavy. The crank, however, kind of scares me having to pick that up. But I have a way I have planned on removing it. That's going to be another video, however. Now these gears don't look damaged, like there's no missing teeth and stuff, so I can't see why I couldn't reuse these. Man, the more I work on this, the more I can't wait to hear it run. This part looked scary yesterday, but it really wasn't. Taking these out. Now they were in there tight, but if they don't come out easy, they're not that terrible to get out with a crappy screwdriver and a hammer. Come out with a bang, like you see. It always helps to use a really good screwdriver and the proper size if you can. But they do come out. I had one give me a little hard time yesterday. It's a ridge screwdriver, don't want to fall in. Same as the last time. Do I need to use a convincing? Maybe a little bit. Ta-da! That stays still. The bearing rides on this. Matter of fact, there's the part number. Timken L812148, made in USA. All right, works for me. So imagine I have to take this off and that should whole thing come off, I think. Well, let's see. You don't have to take it apart, don't mess with it. 3/4 inch bolt. And the bearing boss, what I've been calling it, comes off. I noticed there's an alignment nub right here. Probably for oil intake. It's not a banjo bolt. Bolt doesn't have a hole through it. I think that would be an oil inlet for a gear that would be there. I'm willing to bet you that. It would make sense. And my rag ain't within reach. I'll tell you what, I did notice one thing about these Detroits. This thing's empty. It's still leaking oil. Technically, it's not empty. Bolt out. It is still a hollow bolt. No, it's not hollow bolt. It's regular standard bolt. Wobbling out. Ugh, crap coming out of there. And the bearing rides on that piece there. I don't know if it pushes in or how it works. It would have to push in. And I guess the bearing have to push in. Or this ring with these bolts hold the bearing in. We're not going to mess with that now. It's off the engine. That's good. That's all I need. Now the next stage of what I wanted to do is just get this backing plate off the engine block itself. That, I believe, 9/16? 9/16. Alignment dowel. Your plate goes all the way down to your oil pan. And all I see is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 total. You experienced Detroit diesel mechanics, like guys that work at Detroit. How long does it take to tear one down? I bet you a full day. Like, if I brought you this engine complete, how long would it take you to tear down a bare block? I'm willing to bet you'd be a full 8-hour shift. I could be wrong. Yeah. There it is. There's the back of your Detroit diesel. Blow-by tube. Just a tube, I guess, pressed in. Here's clips. Ow! I might be bleeding. That hurt. And then there's this, I don't see any blood, I guess I'm alright. There's this like Brillo pad material. Oh, not bleeding. We're not going to do that again. I thought that clip would come out easier. It came up. Ah, look at that. You do it without cutting your hand off. Brillo pad material. That separates this cavity from the crankcase in there. The actual flywheel and connector rod spinning around. I imagine it's got to be important. Oil inlet right here, oil inlet right here, the hole. That's how those gears get their oil from. That pipe plugs to your oil galley or gallery. Think Ford 390, but this is how it lubricates your cam bearings through this main supply line here. Okay, and then I don't think I have to take this off to get the crank off. Well, you could try once. Let me clean this mess up. All right, I'll zip these off quick. I don't know if this is direct bolt on or if it's a, like you tighten it and it doesn't let it move, like adjusting your fuel pump on your Caterpillar. Your injector pump, I should say. Well, I ain't gonna want about that with a hammer. Oh, it's coming. I thought. I could push with the pry bar slightly. Just don't finagle the teeth. Direct bolt on. Might be timing marks on how it bolts, which clock position it goes to the crank. But we'll deal with that when we actually start putting this together once we're done with the machine shop work.